What's going on, everybody? It's Jared from Gaming Headquarters, and today we are going to continue on with our Elder Scrolls Online quest walkthrough. In the last video, we went through the character creation area as well as the tutorial, and today we are going to start actual questing. So the way that I want to do this is I want to do the main quest for whatever area we are in, and then I will subsequently walk through and do all the little side missions, bits and pieces here and there. Please remember that the UI for my game will look a little different than yours because I do have extra add-ons and different things that I use in order to make my experience more enjoyable, so it will be a little bit different than yours. In the future, I will do an add-on explanation of how to install, how to use my recommended add-ons that I use, settings for set add-ons, stuff like that. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, as y'all can see, as we ended the last video, we are in Canthari's Roost, which is the starting zone for the Aldemari Dominion. So, with that being said, let's get to it. In order to find out where your quests are at, you can go into... I hit the wrong button. It's right here. So you'll see this. How you saw I had to switch mine because that's an add-on. So what you'll see is this here. It'll basically tell you, your zone quests, how many way shrines there are, your points of interest, your pathfinder, and then your sky shards. So here we have 5 main story quests to complete, and it'll also tell you which of the names of those quests are. And if you need help finding it, for whatever reason you can't find it, you can always open the zone guide, which is under your group and activity finder, or P on the keyboard. Go to zone guide, start zone story, and now it will point out to you specifically on the map where your zone quest is that is next in the series. And if you go back out here, you can see up top on the compass bar, now it has it marked for you. So we're going to go there now.
You there, wet one. Welcome to Canard.
Again, I'm going to kind of skip through most of this because it's the dialogue is kind of irrelevant. The only time that really I will slow down and kind of look at text is if I know that there's a choice involved, because sometimes depending on the quest and what's going on, stuff like that, you may have to do different things because you make a choice. This game does have a lot of choice-making aspects to it, and it's kind of a permanent choice. So once you make a choice, unless you restart that segment of whatever quest you're doing, you will basically have to just follow that to the end. So this part, for Storm of the Horizon, we have to investigate the Temple of the Morning Springs and investigate Shattered Shoals. So if you zoom out on the map, you can see here it's investigating the Sea Vipers at Shattered Shoals, and then here is investigate the undead at the Temple of the Morning Springs. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to the Shattered Souls, and then we'll go ahead and knock out that one, and then we'll jump across to the other side to go do the Temple of the Morning Springs. Something you can do, especially as you get up there and you start creating more and more characters, is that you can use your champion points to kind of help speed you along. That way you're not taking, a million years to get from point A to point B. So, once you get through your first character and you kind of start, building up your champion points, you could always immediately splurge into your speed.
Can
All
any
right.
of you hear me?
So Sergeant
Where are
Ferion,
you there.
she is going to be the one that gives you the Shattered Shoals mission.
Good luck.
So you can see if you on the top right hand side of the screen, storm on the horizon. It still doesn't have any updates to it, and that's just because there are two submissions within the overall mission. So if you want to change your mission without going into your journal, you just hit T, and then now it's changed for you. So our mission objective is to find Edhelas, find Oglorn, find Nistel, and then we can also, as an optional step, gather Torchbug Treacle for the injured Marines. Now, you don't have to do that. Your mission won't fail if you don't do that. But it gives you a different dialogue option should you decide to do that. So, we're going to go ahead and do that. I always try to do the optional steps as much as possible. So, I'm going to have to fight this guy right here. Oh, I missed that one 100%. Alright, found one. Let's give it to this Marine here.
Good.
Alright, now let's go find another one. Which so happens we just pick this one up. And then we find Nistel.
Hope they.
And then we find one more Torchbug Treacle. Might be a little bit long and boring for those of you who are looking for quick answers. However, I think it's just more beneficial that everybody see, each step of the process. That way, if you want to, you're able to mimic the actions that I take to help you, complete the missions in this game, because, I'm a very visual learner. So if I watch somebody do something, I am more likely to be able to replicate it myself instead of having to try to read a guide and hope that maybe I'll understand what the text is saying. Alright, now we have to find Lieutenant Galen. Whatever. He's right over here. So you're going to walk in, going to hang a right. You're just going to directly walk up here. Just make sure you watch your step though, because I believe these individuals have already killed the giant snakes, but there are giant snakes here. So you may have to fight through those upon entering the cave. Now we go outside and find Sergeant Furion.
Turns out my squad were the ones who found me. What do you mean? First a hurricane, some kind of. We need to combine our. Wait. Take this.
Alright, now we have to investigate the beached ship, which is right back here. Speak to the quartermaster.
You want us? And our Sunsighter.
So now we have to patch the forward leak, locate the helmsman's wheel, patch aft leak, retrieve Sunsighter from the Sea Vipers, with an optional step of talking to Sergeant Furion. So when you speak with her, you can basically send people off to go find these items for you, or you can go and do them yourself. I personally would send them off to do it because it's more time efficient.
We'll show that old sea cat. Edalus is the best scrounger in the regiment.
So
She'll have this. I almost pity this. But it's time for.
There you go. Now you send everybody off to do that, and then while they work on that, you will talk to the quartermaster. Now we have to go speak to the captain to see if we can get the support from her in our battle.
Due to your efforts, the Prowler, the Sea Vipers.
Alright, now we have to go talk to Master Gateway, which they will be below decks.
The Sea Vipers are insane!
Cool. Alright, so just a few things to kind of touch on while you're going around. If you have the Thieves Guild DLC, you may find these things here. They're called Thieves Troves, which, as you can see, is a red action. So if you do that and you're seen by somebody, you will get a bounty. But they can contain a good, amount of rewards depending on your luck. So, try to do it without being caught, and it could work out for you. And then you have a thing right here, which is just a lore book. You can collect those as you come. You read them if you want to or not, and then they'll just be there. So, it's a little thing that kind of, for me anyway, goes towards completion. My completionist mentality. I like to get every little thing that I can, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm not going to worry too much about them. So just something I kind of want you to keep in mind. That way you don't have to sit here and go redo your work because you didn't do it while you were there. So now we're going to go take the lodestone from the sea vipers. As you can kind of see in front of us, there is a hurricane being formed above a boat. That's where we need to go. Also, I'm just going to collect these. That way I can unlock skills and continue to level up as a character while I'm going. Eventually, what I want to do is I want to get to a point in which I will do build tutorials and kind of walk people through different builds and stuff like that. However, at this time, I would really like to just focus on the mission. Alright, we gotta get on board. This little thing right here. Oh, I just missed that. Alright. Now we have to fight this individual. Alright, he's a lightning master. Oh, it's a light. Might be an ice master, actually. Oh, we got somebody here to help us. Cool. Alright, we got one. Now we can come up here and... Oh, I missed something. Oh. Well, my apologies, y'all. I did not realize that he wouldn't count as a sea viper. Game is super specific. So, note to all, go attack a regular sea viper before you go fight him. There we go. Now we can go up here and we can free these individuals. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. Come up here. Gotta find that right spot. This one's a little tricky. Use the lodestone.
They won't kill me today.
Cool. We've done that. Now we need to return to Captain Gillima at the Prowler. Once I go off camera, I'll distribute my champion points. That way there will be a lot less downtime in between steps.
I know what I'm doing.
So it'll make it for a better, enjoyable experience for y'all.
and Workveld, then we'll finish
Alright.
comparison.
Mission complete. Leveled up. So, we have now completed the first part of the Storms of the Horizon line. As we said earlier, we have to go to the Temple of the Morning Springs in order to go about getting the main part of it done. Alright, so use that up. Now, the Temple of the Morning Springs is going to be located all the way over here. So we can run that distance, or we can only run halfway. I'm going to personally recall over there. Now, I don't remember in the last video if I mentioned it, but if you ever use a recall, it's going to obviously cost you gold, and it's going to bump up the price of recall for a certain amount of time. So, you can see here it's now 156, and it will slowly go down with time. So, unless you use champion points to reduce the time of your cooldowns and whatnot, I would just be sure to keep that in mind as you go throughout Tamriel, because as you can see, Canthari's Roost isn't really that big. There are some maps that are absolutely massive, so there are 2 champion lines, kind of going a little off tangent here, but it is Wanderer, which reduces the cost. There's one more as well. Don't remember where it's at, but that's one of them, and it basically will make it cheaper for you to go around from way shrine to way shrine. On top of that, you also will have to end up paying more and more over time, just because as you level up, the cost to use the way shrine will also be increasing. So, something else for you to keep in mind. Gold isn't really that hard to come by unless you're trying to, be a merchant, or you're trying to, purchase super expensive items. So, Gathwin here, she's going to provide us with the part of the Morning Springs. Basically, the TLDR is that there is a spirit who is evil, who is attempting to steal bodies in order to escape the little prison they have for him. And so, you see him here. He's possessed a skeleton, and she wants you to save her master. No, I don't want to talk to you, Gathwin. And this part of the mission has a consequence, if you would. It's not really that major of a consequence. It's more of just a who do you get to see live, who do you get to see die. So I'll explain, or not really explain it, but I'll show it to you when we get to that part of the mission. So, it's going to take 1 second. Go ahead and equip some of these items. That way, we're actually using some stuff, because I would hate walking here and not using stuff. Alrighty then. Okay. There we go. Now we're doing a little bit better off. So, we need to disrupt the temple wards. And there is the Scorpion ward and the Spider ward. And the way that we're going to go about doing that is we're just going to go up here. There'd be mobs here usually. I think somebody just cleared them out. And then we'll simply examine the ward. She will then begin to do her little magic-y doodah. Cool. The ward is complete. Now, I would recommend staying by her as she completes that, because I know sometimes if you go too far away from an NPC who is casting a spell or is doing something like that, you may actually cancel her progress, or his progress, and you'll have to redo the step you've already done. So, I know it's annoying, it takes a few extra seconds, but just let them do what it is they have to do, and it'll save you a lot of headache in the long run. As you can see here, this one is a little more guarded because they've already cleared and respawned the NPCs. So you'll see, like you see the Revenant here, you'll see that one on the other side as well. So it's simply, clear these guys out, and then once you do so, bada bing, bada boom. Stay out of the stupid. Unless you're just me, 'cause I don't really care. Let her begin the disruption of the ward. So, as you can see, the stupid air quotes is still here, but that's just a game glitch. Sometimes it does not, doesn't clear it like it should. And now we have to go and enter the temple catacombs. Cool. So, so you're going to come down from right there, going to walk over here, and then you'll just enter the trap door. There's always some little things you can loot as well along the way, if you so desire. Personally, I wouldn't worry about it too much, because you're just going to collect so much stuff from loot and all of that, and it's not even a joke. So, in my opinion, it's not really worth it too much. So, now we enter this part, which is a puzzle. So we're trying to get through this ward right here, and we have to disrupt the barrier. So you see these different icons here, the different stones, and here is a little thing. A big piece of it whenever you have a puzzle is try to look around, because what you will find sometimes is they'll have like these little books that will tell you, a little bit of how things might work. They'll give you clues, they'll, give you hints that might help you to come to an ultimate conclusion. So for this one, right, you can see there are different moon cycles. So what we have to do is we have to put them in order from, the beginning to the end. So you start out with a new moon. Then you'll go with... Oh, nope, backwards.
The two moons seems to be the key to dispersing the barrier.
So, as you can see, you got electrocuted and had to restart it if you fail. I forgot it's the opposite order. In my brain, it was backwards. So, you have your waxing. You'll have your full moon. And then you will have your waning moon. And just like that, the barrier is down.
I need to speak with you. When we end... Thank you.
Then we go in here.
We found the Morning Stone on that pedestal. Wait, that's Aurelian.
Leave Aurelian for now. We have to disrupt the summoning ritual. I'll destroy the bone piles.
Alright.
You keep the undead at bay.
So, like she said, she'll destroy the pyres if we keep them at bay. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, simply, all you'll do in order to do it,
Take a moment to weaken the circle. Keep the undead away from me.
just walk up, you'll fight the NPCs. Thankfully there's somebody here, so it'll help us go a little bit easier. And then she'll disrupt the ward while you fight the NPCs. As you can see when you show up, there's a blue ring around it. She'll disrupt it, we fight the enemies, and it'll go from blue to there being no blue aura at all. And you just rinse and repeat for all 4 sites. Alright, and I don't know why I just did that.
One last circle. We can do this.
Yep. Up one final circle.
Go.
Oh,
Help my master.
too easy.
I'm right behind you.
Stay back! Uldor! Get out of my body now!
Silence! None command Uldor.
He's gonna run over here, and now we have to confront Uldor. Alright, so now we're gonna come in here. So what you can see before you are a bunch of spikes. Obviously, when the spikes, don't be on the platform when the spikes come up. And then you'll also see that there are, great bats and things like that flying around. So you'll have to kind of fight your way through and avoid traps and all of that. It's pretty straightforward, though. They're fighting most of it for us.
Uldor, I command you by the tears of the two moons, return to your prison.
Now we come out here. We'll kick Uldor back into his prison. Then now we'll be
Your Gathman's
left with
ally, yes?
Ril-
Please disable
Rillian.
these traps so she can make it to us safely.
This lever here will then turn off the traps. And now we talk to him.
These gems focus the Morningstone's power.
You can go through the text
Master,
if you
I
wish.
know what your plan. Aurelian's plan. Please help me convince Aurelian.
And now here comes to the first choice. So you can see I can either let Uldor claim Gathwin or I can let Uldor claim Rillian. So for this particular quest, doesn't necessarily matter too much which one you do. The biggest thing at the end will be, do you talk to Gathwin at the end or do you talk to Rillian at the end? If you talk to her, she's going to be like, oh, my master's so great, he needs to live, etc., etc. If you talk to him, he's going to basically be like, yeah, I'm old, and, she's young, she still has a promising life ahead of her. So, you can choose either one. I usually go with Rillian, however, I'm going to use Gathwin for this one, just
Nothing you say
because,
will convince me. I'm sealing myself in that too.
I haven't done it before. So,
Gathwin, I beg you to reconsider.
we'll just,
You're too important,
choose her.
Aurelian. If the Dominion
While
lost
they
you,
talk,
we would be lost.
it's always good to just look at
I'll recover the Morningstone.
your gear, see what
Farewell,
you,
my dearest friend.
what you got, update your stuff, etc.
Farewell, Aurelian.
Cool, are you done talking? Let's go. So, come up here to the tomb, open the tomb. Cool.
You! I won't wear a poisoned outfit.
So you'll see right here, you have these different statues, 4 different statues in the corners, and you're going to have to place gems in it in order to,
Such a spectacular
seal it off.
garment.
There will be a bunch of stupids, so this one will require you to
I can't fight him for long.
pay attention.
Quickly, place the tears of the two moons in the pedestals.
Oh, there you go.
Fool! I'll turn your friend to ash. Stay away from those pedestals.
Alright, and now you just place the different crystals. Try to avoid the stupid zones. And honestly, you could probably take a hit or two and you'll be just fine. It's not that
Do not
difficult.
leave this tomb alive.
Alright.
You worthless rag! This tomb can't hold
The
me.
water weakens Uldor.
You say farewell to her, and then you return out to the Great Hall.
We've restored them. I've rarely
He's going to give you a
pleased
bow,
him. There you are.
and then he'll give you a portal. Go through the portal. And we managed to level up. Now all you'll see is ghosts. You won't see the skeletons anymore. And now our next objective is to go to Mistral up here in the north. So, we're going to do that. and I will be seeing y'all in Mistral. And just like that, here we are in Mistral. So, like any sane person, we're gonna go to the Way Shrine first. That way, should we need to recall to Mistral later, we can do so easily without having to spend a excessive amount of time running around. Cool. Discover the Way Shrine. Now let's go talk to Razumdar real quick. And that will be 3 of the main story missions
This one has
completed.
clearly you are meant to help us out. Just keep your wits about you, my man. You're here.
Alright guys, well, that's 3 of the main story areas completed for Canthari's Roost Zone. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to be alerted when I upload the next video. Until next time, guys.